right, episode 51 of the City Pigeons.
Yeah, we forgot to celebrate the 50th.
How did we forget the 50th? I mean, granted, we were celebrating the Eagles home opener, and it was a very festive environment.
Well, then
That's how, right? We were so worried about it. Now, with me today, as always, to my left is Mr. Mike Meech here.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Mike Meech is over
and
here.
ladies.
Now, you might notice I have a hat on today. And,
replacing Rock.
Yeah, replacing Rock, who has a quasi-excused absence. I'm not sure. We'll get to that later. But we have the insider himself, Mr. Dave Spadaro.
Hello,
sir.
guys.
What's up, everybody?
Yo.
What's going on,
Thanks for
Dave?
having me. Excited to be here.
Yeah.
So kick off the next 50
Absolutely,
the
baby.
right way.
We're
And that's
shooting-
what your hat is. Is it to cover up your head or something?
Yeah,
You want
well, that's what I was
We couldn't
getting
have
at.
three bald guys in a row.
Yeah, because we...
too much for the audience?
Yeah, we skew a little older in the demo with the host panel, and we got a lot of shiny heads. And so I said tonight, I got to wear a hat. And think about it, if it was like bam, bam,
It
bam.
would be too bright for the
Yeah,
for
that
the group,
wouldn't
yeah.
be good. Okay, so over to Dave's right, we got our man Eric Fink over in the Fink tank. The Fink, as you know.
Yeah.
Out at the Good Heart Bar over in the corner there where we like to keep them, not because they're, not special to us, but just because they're amazing gentlemen. We got Tom Henneman. Tommy, how we doing?
Doing well, Jesse.
Feeling
Welcome,
good?
Dave. Welcome to the coop.
They're so amazing, we have to keep them 25 feet away.
We got to keep them over there.
My
Mr.
hair-
Mark
I have too much
Goodhart.
hair.
Mark, what's up?
Good evening.
Feeling
Luscious
good?
hair.
Feeling great.
All right, dude. Well, I'm excited to kick this one off. Special episode having Dave here with us.
Thank you.
Dave and I have been running into each other
Yep.
at lots of events, and we said we got to make this happen, so I'm glad we could. And I
And
think
we're undefeated, so it's a great
we're
time.
undefeated.
Yeah.
It actually felt great this weekend, right? Watching all the games, knowing that the Birds were undefeated, especially considering, as you're thinking about it, we know they haven't really even came close to playing their best football. I know you know that better than anybody.
I mean, I appreciate every step of the journey. And so I have been doing this for a million years. I know we're going to get into that. But like every game that you win feels good. And there are just, you learn to make sure. Early in my career, when the Eagles were winning and people were complaining, I didn't get that joy. But I've learned to ignore all of the angst that still prevails in this city. I know, guys, that the Eagles aren't playing their best football. But to go to New England and win, to beat Minnesota and at the home opener, which was electric at Lincoln Financial Field, it's a great feeling to be 2-0. And all you want to do, Ron Jaworski told me this a long time ago. In the NFL, they never ask you how you win. They always just ask you if you've won the games. Right?
Amen.
How many? Right.
Amen.
Right. Not how.
Mark and I have been
how
arguing
many.
about this, and I do want to get into this later because I have some angst, Dave. I'm just going to be honest with you. But that's what makes for a good discourse, so I'm looking forward to it. Now, let me just shout out real quick that the City Pigeons Podcast is brought to you by A-Bass Swag, a fine manufacturer of printed goods. Also, JBMP Real Estate Group. JBMP. We thank those guys for their support. And, of course, the Good Heart firm led by our wonderful friend over here, Mark Goodhart. So we thank all those guys for their support.
They're the best.
They're all the best. Of
We
course
love
they are. And by the way, we got to shout out Kenwood, just always supplying us with the beer.
Can I have a Kenwood? I feel out of place, man. I really want
There you
Kenwood.
go. There you go.
Let's go.
I know.
Get Dave a
Take
Kenwood,
care of Dave.
baby.
Thank you. Cheers. Can we do a little
boom.
cheers?
Yeah, we can
All
absolutely.
right.
Oh, you want to crack? Oh, he already cracked.
Do we go?
Cheers,
do
baby.
we go pigeons or go birds?
Cheers,
Go
baby.
birds.
Go birds. Go
Well,
pigeons.
They're
The whole
both
thing.
birds, right?
The whole
Birds of
thing.
a feather,
Yup,
Dave.
Yup. All right, Meech. Yup.
1,
Meech.
2, 3.
1,
Go
2, 3.
birds.
Go birds.
Yeah,
Go
go
pigeons.
birds.
Here we go, baby.
It's good.
All right, so I want to, I think anybody who follows Philadelphia sports the way all of us do knows who you are. We've known you for years and years and years. And what fascinates me is we see this media landscape of all these different people that are working for different media entities and coming and going and covering different teams. And you have been entrenched within the Eagles organization for as long as I can remember. And as I thought about it, I was thinking to myself, I actually don't know, and I didn't look it up or anything. I guess you probably have a Wikipedia page. I didn't hit
No,
that
I don't
up
think
at
I
all.
do.
No, you don't think you do?
We're going to make one.
Check that out, Fink. Yeah,
Is
we're
that
going
how
to
you
make
do
one.
it? All
Let's
right.
make
That's
it tonight.
cool.
Let's
I would
make it
love
tonight.
that. That would be awesome, actually.
Tell us some facts
Yeah.
you just want us to throw in there that aren't true, but
Sure.
would sound really good.
Yeah.
So to me, what's fascinating about this is, you've had a very long-standing relationship with the Eagles. You seem as well regarded there as you've ever been. But I really want to talk about how it came to be, because that just, to me, that has to be amazing for you in terms of how that happens.
So I've always been into sports. I love sports. I knew in high school that I was not good at math. I sucked in science. I couldn't focus for more than 20 minutes on, history.
Right.
But I could write and I could speak and I could work hard, and I wanted to work in sports. And way back when, I don't know if you're old enough to remember a guy named Buck the bartender. Do you remember Buck the bartender, Bob Vitrone? He used to work for the Bulletin.
Yeah, he's still on
His son,
Twitter.
that's his son.
Yeah, his son, Boop Stats.
Yeah, Boop, yeah. So Buck the bartender came to I was captain of my high school soccer team, and Buck came to our soccer banquet, and I told him I was going to Temple University. I was like, Buck, someday I'm going to be in the media. And so he gave me 2 tickets to a City Series game, Philly, Big 5 basketball doubleheader at the Palestra. And I went down there, and I was like, wow, the streamers were coming down. It was awesome. And I was like, this is what I'm going to do. So I get to Temple, work really hard, don't care about my grades. My grades are okay, but I get into the business right away. I start working for my hometown newspaper. I'm really good at writing, back when people read newspapers.
Right.
By the time I was out of college, I was working full-time already at my newspaper. Grew out of that. The Eagles were starting a publication called Eagles Digest. I became the editor in 1989. And then, so then we would mail out, and sometimes people still shout out, hey, Dave, I subscribed to you back in Eagles Digest. And I'm like, wow, thank you so much. Because it was so antiquated and archaic that people would get the newspaper after the game sometimes, but they didn't care because there's just no other way for people out of market to follow the Eagles. And in 1997, the Eagles had gone down the road of the NovaCare complex was happening, Lincoln Financial Field was happening. They wanted to create a media department, and so they hired me to run the print side of the media. And joined the Eagles in 1997. In 1998, our website was called eaglesnet.com. And it's still and it's still listed John Gruden as our offensive coordinator 3 months after he had gone to the Raiders.
Did it look like TedSillery.com?
Pretty much, yeah, the late great TedSillery.com, yeah.
R.I.P.
And so I literally went to my boss, Len Komorowski, a legend in the marketing business, sports marketing world, and said, hey, can I just take over the website? Nobody cares about the website in this building. He's like, sure. So I sent an email saying, I would like to take over the website. If anybody has any questions, please tell me. And from that point on, boom, internet took off, media changed, started really integrating myself into the Philadelphia media world. Eagles, when Andy Reid came in and Jeffrey bought the team, everything was going in the right direction.
Yeah.
So a lot of it's timing, Jesse. And then just through the years, the media message has changed, the platforms have changed, but I've been able to adapt, and the Eagles give me a lot of freedom to do things. And so my job is to touch points, right? Any way I can touch fans. That's what I do, and spread the Eagles word.
Now, do you know if there's any other writer that's been associated with the team's website since the beginning?
So the Cowboys had a guy, Jared Bell, but he went to the USA Today. The Bengals followed suit and hired a guy named Jeff Hobson from the Cincinnati Enquirer. He's still with the team, but he was after me. So I think I am the dean of homers.
That's
the dean of homers.
Pretty impressive.
I'm really happy about it. The Eagles have been great to me. I love the Eagles. The fan base around the world is awesome. And the team has been really good. Jeffrey Lurie has owned the Eagles for 29 years, 17 playoff appearances, 10 NFC East championships, 7 trips to the NFC Championship game, 3 trips to the Super Bowl, and 1 Super Bowl victory. And look, we all know that, hey, we could have won a couple more. We would have been great, but that's a pretty damn good track record.
Yeah, that ain't bad.
Damn good.
Yeah, so it's been a blast. And
It's much better than the Cowboys last 20 years.
And Jesse, that's what's so great about it. It's as soon as I joined the Eagles, the Cowboys started sucking. So maybe that's been the kind of the magic move.
Once you spit on their star.
Yeah, do you feel like when you spit
Oh, we're
on
getting
the
into that
star-
already, huh?
No.
It just was a natural segue. We got to talk about some of these fun anecdotes.
Yeah.
Because
That's a good one.
I know it's got to be hard for you to be the spokesperson for the team and to try to always, toe the line. I've heard you on the radio, a lot of pregame shows. When you're mixing it up with media guys, and you want to be authentic and honest. But at the same time, you got to be smart, right? You got to, I don't want to say, toe the company line.
No, for sure. Look, you have to respect the listener and the reader and whatever, the fan, because they're smart people. And I can't go on after a loss and say that everything is great and the Eagles lost 34-10 and it was just a couple bounces of the ball. That would be unfair, and I would lose all credibility. So again, the Eagles have been good allowing me to have that credibility. I've crossed that line a couple of times and gotten in trouble for it.
Right.
But that's just an honest mistake and trying to retain credibility. And
I bet that's one thing that right after you did it, like, shit.
Yeah.
Maybe I went a little.
Let's talk about it
too
real
far.
quick because
you can't take those words back.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
yeah, there's nothing more credible than spitting on the star, in my
Right.
opinion.
So here's the
So
story
how
of
did that-
spitting
how
on the
did that
star.
happen? We
So
really wanna hear
back
about
then
this.
we had this thing called. This is maybe like a precursor to all this
It
media
was
now.
called Spud's Cam,
Spud,
right?
Spud Cam. It was called Spud Cam. And
Meets with deep knowledge.
And so we would like I would
remember
literally
this
carry
shit.
this like little. It was before like a phone, so it was like a little camera, and I would just film myself doing stuff throughout the course of a day of a game, and then we would edit it up and then throw it on the website. And I had done it all year. I'd gone to like the center 50-yard line at Giant Stadium.
You spit on all of them.
I spit on all of them. And but what happened that week
Thank
was
you,
it
Dave.
was right. So then I went out to. I'm like, this is for my first time in the stadium. I'm just gonna spit on the star. And the problem with that one was that was the last game of the regular season, and then the Eagles were playing the Cowboys in the first round of the playoffs the next week. Eagles got smoked in the last game of the regular
Is that
season.
the guitar game? Or
That was the guitar game.
Yeah.
That was the guitar game.
Jeez.
And for those who don't know, Donovan McNabb came out playing the guitar. So there were really no stories. So we put the piece up, and then I think it was on Wednesday that week, a blogger from Ithaca called me and was like, I want to talk to you about spitting on the star. And I was like, oh, am I allowed to say S-H-I-T?
Yes, you
Yeah.
are, sir.
Oh shit, I'm in trouble. So I immediately called Joe Banner, the president of the Eagles. I'm like, this story is going to be a big story, and this is what happened, and this is what blah 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 blah. And I was scared shitless, man. I was like, got caught. I mean, I went too far, and I got caught. Clearly, in Philadelphia, that has made me a very popular guy.
No fans
most
had a
people wanted me to
problem
take a
with
piss
it.
on the star. To be honest with you, but I wouldn't go. But Joe actually, came to my office and he's like, "Look, Dave, we pay you to push the envelope. You've done a lot of great things. Don't ever do that again." And I was like, "Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you." And I remember that
It was like the human version of
Yeah.
Calvin pissing on the Cowboys.
exactly. And so I remember that night, my wife at the time and her parents and I were going to see Jersey Boys. So I'm driving from my house in Havertown, and we're listening to KYW, and like at 7:43, and the news update: Eagles employee won't be fired for spitting on the star.
You're probably
And I was like, "Woo," we all laughed. And,
I think that this should have more legs. Like the internet's more of a powerful thing now, and so
No, I apologize for doing it. I apologize. I don't want to be canceled for something I did in the past. It was wrong.
I think
It
what
was
we
wrong.
got to
and
do
wrong.
is like the Calvin thing that everyone loves for their car. We get one with like an outline of Dave's face spitting on the star.
Yeah,
and
Then
we
we
do
could just
bumper
say it was one of the
stickers.
He
bald
doesn't wanna
guys.
bring
We could
this
say it was
back.
any one of you guys.
I will
It doesn't
say
have to
that
be
I
him.
will say that the Cowboys organization was great. I remember that when we took we went down there the next week and we were on the bus from the airport to the stadium. Mike Quick and Harold Carmichael, I like sat down next to them on the bus, and they were like, "I'm not sitting next to you. I'm not going to get hit by all the shrapnel." Like all the fans were going to come rushing at me. So it was a scary time actually, because I mean I was wrong for doing it. It was fun. It was supposed to be fun, and I went too far. And
You
I
shouldn't get
apologize.
tackled by George Teague. Isn't that what happened with
prof-
T.O.?
T.O. when I'm-
right.
yeah. I profusely apologize for it. I know how Eagles fans feel about it, but I mean, look, I was
feel good.
I was wrong.
We feel good
But
about
that is the story of spitting on the star.
Yeah, I love that.
I
Story.
mean,
Everybody has one.
I mean, there've been many great moments. I mean, the greatest moment of my life was the Super Bowl parade, and I emceed the Super Bowl parade, and I've got two kids, and I love them so much, and when the day they were born was great and everything, but winning the Super Bowl,
Say it.
being and I've told them this, being on stage in front of 2.5 million people, and like celebrating something that I always wanted, that we all always wanted, was the greatest thrill of my life.
Right. Yeah, anybody could be born.
Anybody can be born.
It's no big deal.
Yeah. So, but look, I mean, there's so many of them, guys. I mean, I remember so many games, wins, losses, moments, bus rides, people. It's been since 1989. I mean,
That's a lot.
I've been
It's like,
I've been to every game.
34
34
years.
years.
Until
Carry the
COVID, I
one.
had been to every game since the strike of 1987. Preseason, home, away, playoffs, everything. Amazing,
That's
right?
a great streak.
Right. It's all Eagles all the time.
Okay. Now, you said something there that piqued my interest, which was the bus rides. Because, we see some of the content you do. We see stuff that goes on kind of sidelines. We know there's a lot of things that you are privy to that we're not. And I know a lot of those things you probably can't talk about. But I would love to hear, I know you got some anecdotes, bus rides you mentioned, scenarios where you're with the team and it just is, you're experiencing something that the average fan is probably never going to be able to, and kind of what that feels like.
So early on, the players were my age. Now they're, my kids' ages.
Right.
So it's different. But like honestly, after a game, before and after a game, players are very quiet in their own world. Listening to their pump up music on the way to the stadiums. It is not rowdy at all. There have been some plane rides back, like back in the Buddy Ryan days. Guys would get on the plane after a game. Everybody would grab a plastic bag with 2 beers in it and get on the plane and have a couple beers. Boom, land, get off, and have a great time. And there would be card games and partying in the back and stuff. But since the rules of the world have changed, the beers have gone away. The drinking is down. They might do it, but they do it really quietly, and you're really not allowed to do that. And I mean, honestly, it's not cooler. It's not cool. It's
way
not cool.
different than the NBA, from what I hear.
It is quite. The players, they're exhausted, they're beat. They really give thanks for not being hurt. I mean, it's in the turnaround is so fast that they're really they're just quiet. They fall asleep. We party like after the Super Bowl. I mean, look, after the Super Bowl win and coming back from Minneapolis, it was crazy. I mean, we partied till 5 in the morning. Everybody got effed up. I mean, it was what you would think it was. I partied till 5 o'clock in the morning. I slept for an hour, and an hour after that, I'm walking down the hallway with Nick Foles and Doug Peterson on the way to him getting the Super Bowl MVP trophy. I mean, these are things that are just incredible. And then, at the parade at 8 o'clock in the morning, we all meet at Lincoln Financial Field. Yeah. In walks Kelsey and Bo Allen. Kelsey in the Mummers parade, Mummers outfit. I guess Bo Allen was Kid Rock. They were each carrying like a 30-pack, and then we saw what Kelsey did on stage. And when he started on stage, it was crazy, and we didn't know what the hell he was doing, and he was just blah, 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 blah. The first time I ever interviewed Kelsey, we were at like an Eagles event, stadium public practice, and I interviewed him, and he went, this is how he answers, and he went, knowing that nobody was listening to him. And so when he did the parade, I thought, God, he's just riffing. And it turned out to be the most brilliant speech in the history of Philadelphia.
It was like a wrestler's promo.
But we thought at the beginning that it was so angry, like, where is he going with this? Hey, should we get him off the stage? Like,
right. But when he started doing like one by one,
it was incredible.
This could end up taking a really long time.
But it could have gone on forever, and nobody would have cared. But like, even I'm looking in here, like back in a picture of the Fog Bowl in this great studio you guys have, and I was at the Fog Bowl, and I remember we got to Chicago, and Buddy Ryan on the buses took all the buses around Chicago and blared his horns and honked his horns and blah blah blah. And Buddy was like a big boisterous braggart who never won a playoff game. And we get to the game, and the Eagles play a really crappy game, and the fog rolls in right before halftime, and you couldn't see anything. It was the most disappointing playoff loss until the Andy Reid era, probably. Because that was a really good football team. But so all of these things, there's no really lewd stuff. Like I don't have any stories of like hookers or hangers on, because football, you get in the day before the game and then you get out. As soon as the game's over, we are packing up the locker room and we are out of there.
Interesting.
All right, podcast over. See you guys.
That's it. There's nothing.
Spadero's born. There's nothing else to talk about.
You gotta wait for the week in between the Super Bowl for the hookers, like the Atlanta cornerback that one year. Who was that? That got busted.
That wasn't. Who was that? It wasn't the running back Anderson.
It was a cornerback.
He was a really good player too.
Yeah.
Google that.
Eugene Robinson. Eugene Robinson.
There you go. Nicely done, Mark. Yeah. Nicely done.
Well done. Okay. Then let's go this direction.
Let's see. The thing is, I'm sorry for interrupting.
No, you're good.
Jacksonville. There's no hookers down there. Minnesota. There's no hookers there.
We did go to some of the lamest cities. We were down in Jacksonville.
Now, Arizona, there could have been, but I wasn't. The security was so crazy.
Remember how cold it was for the Super Bowl in Jacksonville? That was just.
It was
stupid.
awful. We stayed in Sawgrass, and it was like pouring rain the whole time, and
not great.
What a bummer, man. What a bummer.
So the nickname Spuds. Now, is that just a derivative of Spadero?
I think so.
Is that like a Spuds McKenzie
thing? Yeah, no, my high school nickname was Spider because my soccer coach couldn't pronounce my last name.
Okay.
I got to college and it was Spud, and then I guess the guys on the sideline just started calling me Spuds. And I'm proud of the fact that that it's not worse and that it's easy to pronounce and people know it, and people have called. I've been called so many things. One of the cool stories of like a nickname is that Angelo Cataldi always used to call me a lapdog, and on WIP, and we came back from the Super Bowl loss in Jacksonville, and he used to have a TV show, and they used to tape it at Chickies and Pete's, in 2005. So they couldn't get a guest. Nobody wanted to do it. So I'm like the 25th option. He calls me up and I'm like, sure, I'll come on the show. So I get on the show and I bring my kids who are very, very young at the time, and he's ripping me because I wasn't aware about, like, I didn't know the whole brouhaha with Donovan McNabb and throwing up, and it was not apparent to us at the game. It was never on TV that he had allegedly thrown up.
Is it proven?
Right. It has never been proven. And Jesse, let me tell you something. One of the Fox guys who directed that game told me they had 25 cameras and there's never any video evidence of Donovan McNabb throwing up.
I'm sure there was one camera on him at all times.
He may have verped, or he like threw up in a huddle or like something, because he got hit in the chin. So anyway, Angelo is like ripping me. I'm like, what are you talking about with this? And he's like, you're a lapdog, you're a homer, you're a blah, 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 blah. Then they go to commercial break, and I look over, and my daughter is like crying.
Oh, no.
You're calling my daddy a lapdog, you're calling him a lapdog. And Angelo's like, no, honey, it's just showbiz, it's just showbiz. And so from that, and Julia from the bomb hole. So she's got the whole, she understands what the media is all about. It's all a show.
That helped.
Yeah.
That helped.
But yeah, I mean, it's just all been great times. People have told me I should write a book, but I think people
tell all. Yeah, really nothing happened. And, but that's the guys thing, just get on, they get off.
That's the thing. Like I don't want to be a rat, man. I don't want to.
Yeah.
These are all great people.
Write one of those.
Yeah, man. This has been a blessing. It's been some of the greatest joys. Winning the Super Bowl. The most punishing emotional feeling is losing the Super Bowl. And everything in between. So
all right, well,
but you can try getting out of me if you want. You want more player characters?
Cool. Let's
wait. Tell me what's your angst? Well, we'll get into the angst.
We're gonna get there. I still want to keep the focus on you here for a little bit, okay? Because
I don't think I'm really that exciting. To be honest with you.
I know
you're finding that out.
Give me some time here,
right.
Okay? So you obviously have been able to do some pretty interesting things because of the fact you have this relationship with the Eagles. Mm-hmm. Recently, you celebrated a very big event here at the at Lincoln Financial Field, right?
Yeah, I got married.
You got married.
Got married.
Right on the it was like the sideline, right? Like,
no, it was on the 50-yard line.
No.
It was awesome. My lovely wife Angela, love of my life, and the Eagles were kind enough to say yes when I asked them a couple years ago, and then we tried to find a date.
Were you more nervous to ask your wife to marry you, or to ask the Eagles to get married?
The Eagles to get married. And at first I thought I was like, Angela, do you really want to do that? She goes, oh no, it's for your career and it's great. It's something different.
Team player.
And I first thought it would be really kind of corny and tacky, right. And then I walked. Don't say right. And then
well, I understand how you can think that. My wife is always like, when people propose at the game, she's like,
oh, well, yeah, I'd never do that, right?
You know what I mean? So people are.
But I proposed to her in the locker room, so it made sense to get married at the stadium. But then when I got there, I was like, wow, this would be really cool if we can pull this off. So the hard part was getting a date. And our original date was going to be June 3rd, and then they scheduled a late Ed Sheeran concert. So Ed Sheeran.
That guy's the worst.
The troubadour. Ugh. You don't like Ed Sheeran?
I mean,
you don't like a balladeer?
Listen, I don't like Ed Sheeran, just like I don't like a lot of pop artists. But when I hear certain songs, I'm like, all right, I get why people like that. But I will say this: recently, listen, I've been listening to a lot.
He does.
I've been listening to a lot of this music. So my kids are like 9 and 11, so I'm hearing all the pop. I think his recent songs, they're not as good. I don't think he's holding up as much as. Hey,
I'm not a huge fan, but I respect.
And he screwed up your wedding.
He screwed up. That's right. Yeah. So once there's and there's so many events at the link that once there's a concert, they lay down this rubber mat, and so you can't do anything.
Right.
So it gets pushed back. Okay, August 12th, we find. I'm like, that's great, man. We have a preseason game August 10th.
Won't even be that hot.
Yeah, it wasn't bad actually. The preseason game against the Ravens is August 10th. I'll work on August 11th a little bit. We'll get married August 12th. I'll go back to work on August 13th.
Why do you have to be such a psycho?
Do the wedding, or do the honeymoon later. Then the Ravens like 2 months before the wedding, changed the date of the preseason game. And again, I
do you
hadn't
do
missed
that?
I hadn't missed any games.
Was it because there was an Ed Sheeran concert that they were
No,
working
I
around,
think
or?
John Harbaugh was just trying to F with me because he was an old cousin. I'm just old boy. With me. I can't say that word
They
either.
were trying to preserve
You can
their
say any word. When I go to
preseason
post the
winning
podcast,
streak.
I have to choose explicit or clean, and I choose explicit.
Okay.
So we're good.
All right, good. So I called Angela and I'm like, Angela, little wrench in the plans here. Could we move the wedding up one day? And she started laughing and she goes, "You're not serious, are you?" I'm like, "It's just one day." So she didn't change the date. But we had the wedding on the 50. It was incredible. The Eagles were amazing. Aramark, shout out to them. They were awesome. We had the reception up in the club. We had Merrill did like a little, he announced us. There was everything about it was 100% perfect. 100% perfect. It was great.
There was one moment that was especially perfect, and I think there's been some discussion of this on the internet. I think you probably know what we're referring to, right?
Yes, the kiss.
Yeah, the kiss. Fink, did you happen to? Do you have anything, Fink? I mean, I just feel
No,
like
we actually went
you
through
don't
it.
have that?
We went through it.
Can you find it?
I can find it. I just didn't pull it up because I
Really?
We've been talking.
Wow.
Is there a?
He only had 12 hours to do
it's
it.
gotta be.
Okay, so
Let's
look,
talk
we
about
talked
it.
about the kiss would be first.
Okay, wait. Let me ask a
first-
question. Yeah, but
Let's-
did you talk about the kiss in advance?
We talked about Angela and I
Okay,
talked
it was
about
discussed.
the kiss first, and then a little tongue next. And
I guess maybe her
but I didn't
idea
realize
of that wasn't the same as yours.
right.
Yeah.
So we did the little kiss,
Yeah.
which is the best kiss I've had other than the Super Bowl kissing the
trophy.
the trophy, which is a good story
Trophy
too. Which
didn't
I forget,
complain
which I
about
forgot,
how you
right.
kissed it.
And then she didn't either. Then I went in for a pretty aggressive second part of it, the tongue action. Kind of wrapped my tongue to the left.
you
apparently,
went left?
As I looked at the video, the super slow mo video
Did you
replay.
analyze the video?
I did, only because they showed it, of course, that night on the
Right,
TV broadcast.
right.
So we're all at the reception, and we are making sure that we have the game on because everybody wants to watch the game. And late in the game, everybody just happens to be watching TV, and they have that as the play of the game.
It's amazing.
Because again, I'm supposed to be on the sidelines, and I was proud of it, man. I mean, she's
should
super
be
hot.
proud.
She's
You should be
beautiful. I
proud.
love her,
You
and
were
I
excited.
went for the kiss. I was very excited to marry her.
Yeah. She probably just didn't think that it was full. You were gonna. All right, here we go.
Yeah,
I'll
here
let
you
go.
go. So we're gonna.
Can you cut to this? Play of the game. Here
Okay,
we
here we
go.
go.
Here we go. Let's let it roll. So here's Dave. He's
Right.
thinking.
There's Emily Biscardi is our
Okay,
officiant.
and right now he's thinking. All right, peck and a little tongue.
There's a
here we go.
kiss.
Oh, he's leaning.
Strong-
Oh,
yeah, I went for it.
That wasn't that- that wasn't that
But
bad.
if you look, it's what they did was they went super slow mo.
Oh, do they?
So that's
That
where
is
that's where it's, yeah.
wrong.
That's
That
where
is
that's where it
wrong,
becomes a
man.
little bit
Oh my
salacious.
gosh. You know what they should have done? They should have put during COVID. You know, they had the fake fans in all the seats. They should have filled them with fake
with all
fans.
the
Cardboard
that would be
cutouts.
cool.
These guys, they thought they were funny grilling you like that,
I know,
man.
like they're gonna.
Jeez.
These are my guys too.
Those are your guys?
They're working. They don't need to be invited.
Yeah, I
So-
actually liked Scott Graham a lot back when he used to do the Philly stuff, but he didn't do that anymore.
Oh, there's the spitting on the star headline too.
Yeah, we
You
got
guys
that.
got it all, huh?
Yeah, we got that.
The Super Bowl kiss is the funny kiss.
They're like, Dave, you cannot open mouth kiss the
Right,
Super Bowl trophy.
Yeah,
though.
the
Come on.
Lombardi trophy. So, I mean, obviously, been dreaming about it my whole life. We beat the Patriots. I'm on the field. Confetti's flying everywhere. I find myself in the locker room a few minutes later, and they're passing around the Lombardi trophy. And I'm like, holy shit, man. I've been dreaming of this my entire life. Like, what am I going to do? So somebody literally hands me the trophy, and I'm like, what am I do? I'm holding it, and I'm like, oh my God. Now I remember what I was supposed to do. I've always dreamed of caressing it and then kissing it. And I reached in there and I went,
Here's the footage of this.
great kiss. Not thinking that like 85 other guys had done it before me.
Right.
So by the time we got to the parade, I was sick as a dog. And I was medicated heavily. And this was my moment, man. I'm
man.
emceeing the Parade of Champions.
The one
And
time you
the
don't wanna
one
be sick.
time,
Well,
so I was clean. I was the only
You
one
should
who
have
wasn't
kept
drinking.
your lips together,
Right.
You know? And you didn't.
I was the only one not drinking. I didn't even realize people were throwing beers to the players. I thought they were kind of throwing them at everybody just because it's Philly and who knows, everybody's getting rowdy. I get up there, I deliver I thought I was awesome. You know, at one point Malcolm Jenkins knocks over the trophy. I caught it. You know, it was incredible. And then I was sick for 2 weeks after.
This,
Yeah,
I
there it
feel-
is. There's the kiss.
Is that the
That is
actual
the
kiss?
Yeah, it is the
That's
actual
not
kiss.
a later one?
Nope, that is the actual kiss.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all right.
Yeah,
Fink. There
that
you
was
go.
cool, man. Yeah,
you go.
that was really cool. It was the greatest moment ever. Greatest moment ever.
Yeah, you look.
I mean,
into
have you
I
seen
get
it? Have you guys seen it?
Oh yeah, I think. I mean, I took
you down there?
Hey, I took a picture with one. It was probably the
Yeah.
backup. You
Yep.
know what I mean?
Wow.
I didn't get
Listen,
the
if
real
I
one.
had a chance to touch it, I'd kiss it too.
Wouldn't you? Wouldn't
Yeah, I
you?
would
Of
definitely
course.
do
Of course. I mean,
kiss
I
that
think
thing
that.
all
Look,
over.
I know those who love love hockey. The Stanley Cup. The Stanley Cup is the greatest.
Oh yeah. That's quality.
Right?
Yeah.
But
pretty
the
good.
Eagles, it had been fit. I mean, since 1960. So to
You know, it's like
finally do it.
All the trophies are kind of like cool in their own regard, right? Like the World Series trophy with the flags is pretty sweet. But the NBA Finals, this is basketball, right? Wait, am I getting that right?
I don't know what basketball is.
Well, they just changed it.
Did they?
Basketball's a Larry
O'Brien
they
trophy.
changed
That's the MVP, or is that the?
No, that's the
Is
name.
it still the Larry
Yeah,
O'Brien?
they
Because
changed
they
the
gave
MVP
every other
award and
award a
changed like
stupid
that.
name and changed the trophy.
Oh, we're gonna trade there.
I think it's
Can't make
Can't make
the
it to the Vikings.
Jerry West now or
So
something.
we don't care about the Vikings for
No.
now. We already took care of them. Okay, but all jokes aside,
Right.
you have had close access to players over the years, and so I'm interested. There had to be some guys that. Well, first question is, what kind of relationship, if any, do you really develop with those guys? And there's got to be some that it's better than others. You know.
Yeah, good relationship. I mean, for the most part, there's really very few assholes who've ever come across the Eagles locker room. There've been a few, but for the most part, you know, they're humble guys. They know it's not going to last long, and they're very grateful for their time in the NFL. I will tell you that the coolest moment I had as a young reporter was when Jim McMahon was an Eagle, and we used to go when we played the Cardinals. We would go out early and hang out there and at South Mountain. And one night, Jim invited me to drink with him all night, and like everybody,
Now we're
Jim
talking.
McMahon was he was everything. He was like an icon.
Yeah.
And everybody, he would never accept a beer from anybody, a drink from anybody, just because he didn't want to start getting involved. Because he knew once he started with the fans, it was never going to end.
Right.
You know, at training camp, there would be times when we would have a bunch of drinks with guys and hang out with guys. In the building, coaches, like Ray Rhodes was a big drinking guy who was a hangout guy. Andy was not. Andy Reid and I had
Maybe eat some burgers
a
or
great
something?
relationship. Andy Reid one time told me that I hosted the Andy Reid show, and we kind of got into it. He was really pissed off about the way the team was going, and I questioned him about something, and he like threatened me, and then we like made
boy.
up for it afterward. But there, you know, you're part of a family. It gets very intense with guys.
Right.
But with players, my friendship really is more after they're done playing and they're a little bit older and they've got a different perspective on the world. And I make it a point to never talk to a player on game days. I don't want to break their concentration. I don't want to be blamed for anything. I got none of that stuff ever. So, but my best buddies have always been like John Dorenbos, Troy Vincent, Ike and I are tight. Jason Avant's a great guy. A lot of the guys who've stayed in Philly, which I really respect. I've gotten, and Connor, of course, is an amazing guy.
Yep.
But when they're playing, I kind of, and like Kelsey's everything that you think he is. You know, Kelsey,
Yeah.
he's a great guy.
It's the best.
He is, right? Like, and that, but that's
is exactly what.
and Jordan Mailata, great, because it's such a in a way thankless job. You know, they're not glorified guys. They're not guaranteed. Most of the contracts aren't guaranteed. The life of an NFL player in the league is less than 3 years, I think. So
Well, it's actually interesting you say that because those guys are a perfect example. I don't know that in other cities your offensive linemen are going to be, you know, the personas that those guys are. Really, like if I think about it around the
There
league.
isn't. I've thought about it. There isn't another center in NFL history that's as popular as Jason Kelsey. Maybe Dermontti Dawson in Pittsburgh or
But my
something.
point is, like, even right now-
modern day, maybe like Chuck Bednarik, but he was more known as a defensive guy than a center. But
Here's my point, though. Across the NFL, who's the like next most popular lineman in their city? I'm trying
probably
to
the
think.
guy Andrew Whitworth was a longtime guy.
Some of these guys.
Some of the really
Who's the guy,
old.
Joe Thomas.
Joe
right?
Thomas
Like, he was
from Cleveland is very
like,
popular.
There's a couple, but
But again, you're also talking about, you know, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia.
Totally.
Blue
Working
collar,
class, yeah.
working class cities, working class positions,
But
very
even as-
identifiable to the
like
fans.
as great as Lane Johnson is, I don't think he would be considered popular. I don't think too many.
well,
too
certain
many
people
fans.
did.
in the shadow of Jason, I think it's hard to qualify. Lane that way, but I think
Okay.
I think he is pretty
He's
popular.
very well. Related question: what adjectives would you use to describe somebody who, during all of the hype and the hoopla with the Kelly Green jerseys, went into the Eagles Pro Shop and selected a Lane Johnson jersey out of all of the jerseys? Is there any particular way you'd like to categorize that?
Middle tier. Bald guys.
Yeah. Ball guys. Well, we can relate.
Offensive lineman lovers.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
you're buying the Kelly Green phenomenon has been amazing. Very,
But we knew
consistent,
that would happen,
right? Very consistent
right?
with what you'd expect.
You knew that would
So they sold the most merchandise at a single game against the Vikings than they've ever sold,
Oh,
and the numbers are incredible. And it's the Kelly Green, and
Well-
it's going to be around for 5
Dave,
years.
do you have-
It'll
do you
never
have-
be a full-time
Hold on, wait.
color.
I was wondering. No, I'm not getting into that.
Okay.
Do you have any idea how many jerseys they sold just in the pro shop that opening day? Because I'm figuring they had to make like $200 million.
No.
There was people that were going in there spending like
It was like all the stores. It was like
5,000?
maybe $2-3 million or something like that. I forget the number.
no way.
Yeah,
pretty good. Okay.
it was a lot.
Fink,
You're
I
talking
think-
about jerseys alone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
that first day because they were lined around the block.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
have that number in my head somewhere.
you knew when they put the Kelly Green jerseys out that everyone that had an Eagles jersey was going to get a new jersey. So it was going to be ridiculous, and it was. But we haven't actually heard much from anybody here. We've been just rambling on. And I want to go over to the Fink tank real quick because Fink had what we all agreed was an incredibly pertinent question for you that he thought up earlier today. So Fink, because we are already on that subject anyway, I think this is a perfect time for
With
you.
all the hoopla going around with the Kelly Green jersey, what's your favorite jersey? The whites, the blacks, the midnight green, or the Kelly?
Or can we allow him to go like historical
Yeah,
and
you
pick
can
an
go with the
older
yellow.
one?
I always like
Blues.
I always like the honestly I always like the white on white with I like the white helmet green birds green wings.
Yeah.
Wait, is that
That's
an-
the 70s.
Okay.
I always liked that as a
Yeah,
kid.
That's too far.
That's too far back? Okay.
Yeah. Let's just choose current then.
Yeah, I mean I like the midnight. I think the midnight greens are awesome. Midnight green jerseys. And
I mean, but that's your
Thank you.
That's your
Thank you.
era. You know what I
Well,
mean?
yeah.
Like you were nailing it that
How
whole
would you
era.
rank
That's
them?
Donovan.
I would do that. Then I would go. I like the Kelly Green, green jerseys with the what are they Kelly Green jerseys.
Mm-hmm.
See, I was in the pro shop today and I was like, they had white jerseys with Kelly Green numbers, which were really hot.
Yeah, I've actually seen
love
black
them.
ones with black Kelly Green with the so they're black and I think the dude might have been making them.
Yeah, I don't think they were. I don't think that you can
Out
wear
of
them.
his basement.
And then the black.
He
was
said to me
wearing-
this. He goes,
Those weren't
"My-"
officially
He
licensed.
goes, well, you know what's funny? They have the Nike thing. I mean, they look exactly right. He goes, my guy gets me whatever I need. I'm like, you're not answering my question. Like, I literally asked you, like, what is this?
I'm kind of a bad person to ask because I get it's a weird thing. Like if I had kept all of my Eagles gear through the years, it would fill up this room.
Right.
But the only jersey that I ever had, I have a Reggie White autographed jersey that's framed in my office, and I had a Woody Peoples jersey,
Well, you lost me on that
offensive
one,
lineman,
buddy.
from like 1980.
Mark knows who that is.
And that's I've never like worn a jersey. I had an AJ Brown jersey for a while, then it got stolen at the block party.
Well, that's interesting. You're like too close, right?
I
You
don't-
can't,
I
you
don't-
can't show up for your spot in the
Wearing-
Spuds
wearing
cam
it
with
right,
the
If
wearing
Nick
a
jersey.
jersey.
Sirianni can show up to practice wearing guys'
He's the head
T-shirts, he can
coach.
show up
He's got
wearing.
a
He's
point.
the head coach. He can wear whatever he wants.
He's got a point.
But yeah, I never like I mean I remember I've been here long enough, Jesse, for instance Zuba's days.
Yeah.
But the jerseys, I just never got into it, man. I love
You still have
sports.
them.
I still have.
I
Yeah.
just don't wear the jerseys.
All right. Well, I'm going to take a brief break. We got to head over to the Good Heart Bar. You know, we've been neglecting these guys. And actually, I meant to ask a question because Tom, he strikes me as the kind of guy that would have gone with the open mouth kiss at his wedding too. So I just want to ask.
Wait, is it wrong to do an open mouth
no,
kiss?
no, it's fine. Tom, I just wanted to know, do you happen
you
to
implying
remember?
there, Jesse?
Do you remember your approach at the wedding?
I do. It was about half of Dave's.
It was half.
It was the first half without
Yeah.
the second half.
See, I remember. Actually, I don't really remember, but I'm quite sure that I kept it conservative. I didn't want to do anything stupid, so I just went with the tasteful and figured I'd be okay maybe later. But yeah,
No, we definitely did a little smooch. It was
Okay.
It wasn't
Just a little
nothing.
smooth, like little.
It wasn't nothing. It was more than that.
Mark,
It was-
related to all the things we're talking about, great guys here. I want you to talk a little bit about that piece of paraphernalia you got in front of you there, buddy.
The football or the Eagles
The bomb?
champagne?
Or
I
the-
guess all the
Wow,
above,
that's
man.
cool.
So I'm sure you probably know about this, Dave. You probably
Yeah, I do know about that.
promoted it, licensed it, all that
Yep.
stuff. I walked into my office this morning, and great paralegal had just put this on my
Lori.
desk.
Shout out Lori.
Shout
She's
out
the
Lori.
best.
Lori is the best.
Fantastic. So I said, ooh, that'll go great on the bar tonight. But more importantly, here, folks, we have...
Not more important than Lori, but yeah.
Well,
Equally as important.
here we have a very unique item. And I know this is unique because it took me a while to even find an autographed Cincinnati Bearcats ball, like an autograph like with the leather
Like
where
that
you
you
can
could
sign
autograph. Right.
and our friends Connor Barwin and Jason Kelsey autographed this ball for us very graciously.
Two
And
Bearcats, obviously.
Two Bearcats. That's the connection. I'll be traveling this weekend out to Cincinnati for a good friend of mine, Dave Parker, who is a Pittsburgh Pirate and Cincinnati Red Hall of Famer, who should be an MLB Hall of Famer. God willing, will be one day. He has a foundation, the Dave Parker 39 Foundation, raises money for Parkinson's research, which is near and dear to me, near and dear to Jesse as well. University of Cincinnati happens to have the leading research center in the country, the UC Gardner Science Center for Parkinson's research. So I go out there every year, we play golf, we raise a lot of money, and this ball will be part of the silent auction. So for all you that are going to be watching this and listening to this over the next couple of days, this ball will be auctioned off. You can go to DaveParker39Foundation.com. There's a lot of wonderful items there, including this very unique football. I understand from Connor, it may be the only one that's ever been signed this way. There's even, I was looking today, there's an Allen Iverson jersey on there. Currently, the bid is $40.
What?
For an assigned Allen Iverson jersey.
Let's get on there. And
There's a Ronald.
Where do you
Acuña-
go for this?
Yeah, where is it?
It's the DaveParker39Foundation.com, and you
Get
can
on there.
navigate.
Let's look at the inventory. Dave Parker, what?
39.
39Foundation.com.
Okay.
You
We should
can
buy
make a
some stuff.
donation even without bidding. It's a great organization, and it's like I said, near and dear to me. Be some great celebrities playing golf with us this weekend. There's a Ronald Acuña autographed bat. I was thinking someone in Philadelphia might want to buy that and start a bonfire with it.
Not a bad idea. Although,
but
hey, shout out to the Phils taking two.
but
or
I
three,
just want to
baby.
say thank you to Connor, thank you to Jason.
Yeah, baby.
Bid. And all I'm really doing right now is upping the amount of money that I'm going to spend on this football because my son really wants me to come home with it.
Right, of course he
Sounds
does.
good.
Well, you showed it to him and showed him how cool it was, so that's on you.
Dave
Okay.
Parker, who never got cheated out of a swing from the left-hand side, right?
Never.
Yeah.
Look at this.
I know-
you
I know
guys.
my baseball.
You guys are like kindred
Yeah.
spirits. Okay,
Yeah.
we're coming back to you in a minute, but I did want to kick it over to Meech here because.
Yeah, speaking of bidding, and should we venture into?
Oh, you know
that?
what? That we can do that, but that actually wasn't where I was going. I thought, given your attire, and we were talking about Parkinson, I thought
Yeah.
maybe you would want to give a shout out here.
I do. It's not a shout out. I want
you
to
know what I mean.
send a get well. Everybody here wants to send a get well to Charlie Manuel. Wearing the guy's jersey tonight.
Yeah.
Tell him Meech.
Meech is like, I don't know how many people actually have the Charlie Manuel
Yeah,
jersey.
probably not many.
That's strong.
But he had a stroke earlier this week, I
heard he posted that he's doing
Yeah, he's
better.
out of ICU. Supposedly he's doing good. He was
Beautiful.
I think he runs his Twitter, right? Because he was on Twitter today joking with Andrew McCutcheon, who was.
Time remaining 2 days on that.
Okay. Now, it does say...
3 p.m. on
I
Friday.
need to preempt the
You're good.
Charlie Manuel.
Aleko, if we can cut to the Fink cam here, or the screen, it does say the answer on it. So I guess that makes it cooler, or is that less cool than an actual jersey? Guys, what's the...
I can
Size is
actually
very cool.
attest
I mean,
that
it's signed and it's $40.
I actually saw him sign this because it was signed at a sports memorabilia show in Atlantic City.
Right.
And I was actually there with Dave Parker helping solicit some items for the foundation. And I did see him sign this.
Okay.
So Mark's going to go home with that too.
The max,
Yeah, he
the
is.
estimated value is only $100.
Yeah, that's got to be higher.
I didn't set these.
All right.
I just promote them.
All right. No, you're doing a good job. You're doing a good job. Speaking of promotion,
A Kristaps Porzingis jersey, $25.
speaking of promotion, Mark, can we let's talk about our buddies at JBMP, Fink?
JBMP.
JBMP. These are our favorite real estate brokers, leasers, whatever you want to call it. These guys do it all. Managers. And let's head over to Mark for a little bit more on JBMP.
JBMP, located in the Fishtown neighborhood, the great Fishtown neighborhood in Philadelphia. Full service real estate brokerage, sales, leasing, and also buy side deals, commercial, residential, And if you need an apartment, they've got hundreds of listings. The great people over there, John and Maria. And they're also great people because they support the City Pigeons podcast.
That's right. John was at the tailgate.
John was at the tailgate.
John's the man.
John shot a 43 on the back nine on Sunday.
Not bad. It's an 86 if you can put them together.
Very versatile. And as usual, we have the JBMP weather forecast looking ahead to Monday night in Tampa.
Nice.
It's going to be hot.
Is it?
So, Dave, I don't know if you wear shorts, if that's like
I'm not playing, Mark.
No, I understand. But you're going to be down there working. You'll be on the field.
Yeah.
I might recommend some shorts. It's going to be a high of 90 during the day. It's going to be about 83 at kickoff.
Humid.
Chance of some rain in the late afternoon, but it should be a beautiful night. And go Birds. JBMP
go
weather
Birds,
forecast.
man.
Going to be hot.
Let's go. Just get to 3-0.
Let's go. Let's go.
Some challenges here early in the season.
One more.
I was holding up cue cards for
Listen,
that.
on a
Sponsors
related
here,
note,
our sponsors here goes out.
we got to shout out A Best Swag, another fine sponsor of the program. Manufacturers of the wonderful Underdog. I don't know if you know this.
Oh, is that? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
the
Yeah, I
A-Best
know. Of
swag.
course, the Underdog's the greatest.
Right? They make the Underdog stuff. They make all the City Pigeon stuff. By the way, I got a City Pigeon shirt for you before you get
Thank
out
you.
here.
Thank
Do
you.
not let me forget
All
about
right.
that.
I won't-
A Best Swag.
I
Guys, if
won't
you
let
need to
you
get
forget
anything
that.
printed.
This one right here.
I love that.
No, it's not that
I'm very
one.
honored. I'm very honored.
That's
to have
actually
that. Thank
one
you.
we got before A Best
Do
Swag.
a
which
jersey
is-
swap.
That's great.
Jersey swap. You get the black shirt. I love that. Okay, that's good stuff all around, guys. I got one more question for him, and then we're going to get to what you want to do. I thought about this, and I was thinking, you mentioned there's some other guys at other teams that had similar runs to you and did similar things. If you had to choose, right? If you had to go back and you couldn't do what you did for the Eagles, but you had to do it for one other team, who would it be? You got to answer. You got to answer. There's no wiggling out of this. Think about it for a minute.
Any sport or just football?
I was thinking just football. Honestly.
So out of Philly market, so it's got to.
Yeah.
Obviously, I would never want to leave Philly.
Right.
So where would I want to live?
I thought about this question. I was thinking it's more to me about the team and the experience of working for the team, not just where you want to live.
Honestly, I hate every freaking team. I hate them all.
All right.
Like I hate them all.
Fair.
When people, if the Eagles aren't in the Super Bowl, somebody will say to me, "Well, who are you rooting for in the Super Bowl?" Nobody. I hate.
Yeah.
If the Eagles aren't, I never watch a game. Like when I'm watching a game and the Eagles are not involved, the instant the game is over, I turn it off because I don't want to see anybody celebrate. I have no feeling for anybody. I don't like
We should
anybody.
have known when you went around spitting on everyone's logo if that was going to be the case.
I wasn't rooting for Andy Reid to win the Super Bowl.
Right.
I wasn't rooting. I don't care. I wasn't rooting for Randall to win with the Vikings. Like I want the Eagles to win.
Hell yeah.
Fuck the rest of them.
Yes.
There it is.
He is
There
a
it is.
cold-blooded Eagles guy.
Now the real squad's
I'm ready.
coming out, baby.
Let's
It's
go.
just Kenwood beer.
It's that Kenwood, baby. Get him another one.
Dave,
Okay.
I have a question along those lines. Obviously, every team has a media department and every team has a website at this point, but your career has obviously ebbed and flowed.
Yeah.
And we see you on TV.
Yeah.
You're behind the scenes with the website, doing all these different things, helping with media relations, going on the radio, being on the Angelo show. Right. Do other teams have men or women who are as versatile and diverse?
No,
Is this
obviously not.
insider
No.
position unique to the Birds?
Yeah, that's what's been so special. The Eagles have allowed me to kind of just diversify, and it's really interesting because you mentioned the website and all. And so what's the next phase of my career at the age of 58? It's not the website. And I'm not really. It's all everybody's on social media, and so I'm kind of also an ambassador. And again, like for example, today I was with Jason Avant working with kids at a elementary school, like doing like drills with these 6th graders and 3rd graders, and then like sitting and meeting with our corporate clients, and then doing events for them, and then so there's a lot of different ways to touch fans. And the Eagles allow me to kind of find my way to do it. But our department we have a huge content department. We have a humongous fan base. And we find that social media is really where this younger generation of fans is going. And so in the course of my career, it's gone from newspapers to the internet, radio, TV, blogs, podcasts, social media, everything. And just you find Eagles fans everywhere, and any way you can touch them, you touch them. And that's really what my job is, to keep people engaged until the games. But there's really no other team that has a Dave Spadaro, which I'm very proud of, to be honest with you, because I'm extremely aggressive. As you can tell, I'm very type A, and I love the Eagles, and I do everything I can to promote the Eagles. So, early in my career, when like newspaper guys would be like, "Oh, you sell out. Oh, you pussy. Oh, you're doing this. Oh, you're doing that." I'm like, you guys don't get it, man.
Jealous.
Yeah, like no, they want. I never took joy in like seeing bad stuff happen to my teams. I think fans want good things to happen to the team, and we found that that's really the case. And fortunately, the Eagles have been good more often than they've been bad. So
it's really remarkable.
Even though Jesse's really got some agita about this 2023 team.
I do. But before we get to that, let's have a little fun with Meech. I think he's got a
Listen,
game.
I
He's got
put
a game.
I put together a little game for us.
Okay.
We don't do a lot of games. So.
Yeah, we don't do a lot of games, and I figured we could use a. Now I wish we had like a game theme show, a
song
theme
or
and like
some music. Yeah.
But we don't.
That'll be
So
fun.
here, let me just set this up. The Eagles recently did an auction, the Radiothon auction, which they do every year. They do a great job to raise money for the Eagles' autism.
Yep.
And it's put together by the Eagles and WIP, right. And it just ended. So everything has been bid and won, and I just wanted to do a little game, and it's the which thing went for higher game.
Okay.
And I'm gonna.
You're asking me?
I'm gonna present to you.
Well,
no,
you
well,
might
I think
know.
I know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
I know.
know. You're an employee, and you're
You can laugh at us.
No.
You're not included either because you're dating an employee of WIP.
He's
So
not
both of you
gonna know.
are out. No,
Wait,
so-
next year
all right,
can
I'm
we do
just
an
kidding.
item? Dave, can we do an item? Watch a game, or well, you
playing.
can't do that. Watch
I'm
some
playing.
game.
So here's the gist of the game.
Dave Spadaro in the coop. You know what I mean?
That'd be
in
cool.
The coop. Hang in
Okay.
the coop with Spadaro. We got a player in there.
Who are you dating?
Oh boy, here we go.
Devin Caney.
Oh, really? Nice catch, man.
Look at that, right? Look, Spud's picked it up quick.
Way to outkick your
like,
coverage,
hold up.
bro.
Wait, is August 12th, 2024 available at the stadium?
You must be.
I'll tell you a couple jokes outside.
Yeah, and that's cool. Yeah, just kidding. Good. She's great. Devin's great.
So listen, I'm going to present to you two items that went up for auction, and you have to tell me, and I'll tell you what it includes and everything, and you have to tell me
Can
which
anyone
one
jump in?
went for higher. Anyone could jump in.
Okay.
It's really, I don't want to spend too much time on this. It's
maybe
a simple
20
game.
minutes.
Which one went for higher? All right.
All right, let's do it.
Here's the first ones. The very first one is a Kelsey Christmas experience, which includes you and up to 5 family members will take a holiday photo with number 62 Jason Kelsey in an Eagles studio at the NovaCare complex. You get a signed album autographed by Jason Kelsey, tour of the complex for you and up to 5 family members. Digital photos of the experience are provided, and a Philly special Christmas album display autographed by Kelsey, Mylata, Lane Johnson. That's number one, all right?
Sweet.
It's pretty solid.
Number 2 is a Phillies suite experience with Jordan Davis and N'Kobe Dean,
Kelsey.
which includes you and up to 10 guests receive tickets to a suite at a Phillies game next year. Jordan Davis and N'Kobe Dean will stop by for a meet and greet. You get 2
not the
park.
stop by. You don't know what that is.
You get
don't
2
know what that
parking
is.
passes, and you get 1 football autograph
So
by
it's
Davis and
basically
Dean.
a suite. Let's level
Food
with
and
each other.
non-alcoholic beverage included. So out of the
Non-alcoholic, just
beverage.
non-alcoholic.
Out of the 2,
I'm out.
which one went for more? A Kelsey
See,
Christmas
okay,
experience or
now,
a Philly suite experience?
You said Kelsey, but you actually don't know the answer.
I have no.
right?
I do
Okay.
not know the answer.
I think, like knowing the way Meech works, I think he's actually maybe doing a little reverse psychology
what I'm
here.
thinking. That's
yeah,
why I
because
was
he
like-
thinks we're gonna go
And
Kelsey,
we like kind of shit on the suite a little bit.
but
How many tickets in the suite? How many
10
tickets?
tickets.
10
That's
a lot.
10 tickets.
You can
10
bring
I
a
feel
lot.
guests.
like I go with the
No
Kelsey
beer.
I gotta go to Kelsey experience.
No alcohol.
That seems awesome.
You guys have a
And
vote
the
on
album.
this? Go ahead.
Kelsey.
Kelsey.
I'm not going to play in the
Well,
Meech.
now I want to go sweet.
I'm not gonna play
I'm
in the
gonna go
Meech.
sweet
Wait,
just
who
as
are
everyone
Phil's
else in Kelsey.
playing?
They don't
It
know.
doesn't
You don't
say,
know.
dude. It's a game next year.
Oh, it's
They're-
next year.
yeah,
I didn't know it was next year.
they're playing the Miami Dolphins.
What's the answer? What's the answer?
Okay, a Kelsey Christmas experience went for $8.2K. The Philly suite experience went for $8.9K. So the Philly
yeah.
suite experience
I was
wins.
right. Now, were
There
you
you go.
thinking reverse psychology there? I feel like
played
you were.
along.
Or no?
Not really.
No.
I was
Okay.
just putting these together, trying to get close.
Everybody drink. Okay.
Yeah.
No.
But
All
some
right,
there's crazy ones.
Next week we
Okay.
can play this game with the football and the Allen Iverson jersey. By the way,
Here's the next one.
How much money did Mark spend?
Option A is join Brandon Graham courtside for a Philadelphia 76ers game. You and one guest will receive courtside tickets to the Sixers versus Memphis Grizzlies, so you can potentially get into an altercation with Ja Morant's father.
At T. Shout out T. We're coming for you.
You get food and non-alcoholic beverage included, parking
I guess
passes,
there's liability concerns, Mark.
and a football autographed by Brandon Graham. That's number one. Number two,
He takes up 1.5 of the 3 seats, though. So
is
you got to take that into consideration.
You run out of the Eagles tunnel, hold the flag at a Philadelphia Eagles game, which is basically the 2023 Aaron Rodgers Jets experience. This includes and a guest will hear the roar of the crowd as you run out through the team tunnel and introduce before the game. You hold a giant American flag, and you get 2 tickets in the 100 level, and 2 pregame passes.
All right. This is how I'm going to break this down, okay? One thing we know about people, especially with social media, they want to be seen with, like, celebrities, you know? So now they also want to be seen doing really
On the
rare
field?
stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go Sixers here because I just think courtside, Brandon Graham, that's
I
a...
sat in a box with Brandon Graham last season.
Did you? How did it go?
How much you pay?
He was with
9K?
Devin. He didn't have to pay.
That's right.
We were pounding and everything.
Was it like,
high-fiving, we had a great time.
actually, truth be told, Brandon Graham came out to the Make the World Better
Yeah.
concert the other
Yeah.
day
He
and
was,
hung out
he
for
was
like,
great.
yeah,
He
Tom, you
rapped
were
with us
talking
for a
over 20
while.
minutes.
Yeah, BG's great.
You're talking about your kids,
Yeah.
right?
Does that lower the value, though?
He's a great guy.
All right, so run out of the tunnel or courtside with Graham.
I'm going courtside.
Tunnel. Because people are willing. I think the Philadelphia fan is more willing to pay for that experience than a Sixers experience.
You might be right, generally speaking. That's good. That's good thinking, Mark.
As it doesn't surprise you, I'm a veteran of auctions, and
Yes, that's
I
right.
do
You
tend to
spend a lot of money on a lot of shit.
supports a
but
lot
it's
of
really
us.
because I like to support important causes.
Of course.
And I do think the uniqueness of the item is very important, and therefore I'm going courtside Brandon Graham.
Pretty unique to run out with the flag.
Have you ever been on the
going
field
tunnel?
I'm going with the tunnel.
when they used to have
Tunnel.
the smoke coming out? Do you remember
Yeah,
that? I
it's
got the
pretty sweet.
picture with Dave
They let
Milet.
season ticket holders come out and
winning
hold the
bid
flag, though.
Tunnel winning bid was 3.5K. You guys don't really have to go into like that deep a thought about
do.
this. It's
can't not.
3.5K for the running out of the tunnel. Brandon Graham courtside, 9K.
Easy.
I feel like I should have charged people to go to my wedding. Now that I'm hearing all this.
Yeah, you definitely should have. All right.
Okay,
Well,
I got 2 more. You ready?
all right.
We're playing a game
All
here,
right.
Jesse. Come on.
Only 2 more? This is kind of fun.
I'm two for 2. I don't know about you guys.
I had 3 more, but I'm going to skip
Stuff in the
one.
ballot.
You ready?
Just do one.
Yeah.
All
Not
right.
that this isn't fun. We're having a good time.
Here is a lunch and competition with head coach Nick Sirianni. Join head coach Nick Sirianni for a game of horse and putter ball, followed by lunch.
Putterball.
It's a mutually agreed upon date next year.
Putt golf.
You and one guest enjoy lunch, enjoy a game of horse and putter ball, whatever putter ball is,
We don't know.
and
That's kind of a wild card. What if it's this really cool thing
Not only
that people
putterball's
are
that
really
cool.
into?
Also,
Like,
where's lunch at? Like, is that
Novacare.
it's at the Novacare
Fink
complex.
Show?
Is this at his house?
It's at Nova.
Horse in like his driveway?
okay.
No, horse,
It's at the
horse in the auditorium.
Novacare complex.
Horse
You
in
don't
the
get to go back to
auditorium.
Nick
Y'all have one.
Sirianni's house.
We'll go to Nick's house.
Thank you.
Is there a court at the
Novacare?
Novacare?
It's a hoop in the auditorium.
Option 2.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Spend game day with Eagles insider Dave Spadaro at Eagles versus Miami.
I know this one.
This includes one winner will have the opportunity to spend game day as an Eagles insider with Dave Spadaro. Scheduled to take place October 22nd. Join Dave for a tour of the complex. Head over to Lincoln Financial Field. Join Dave on the sidelines and help Dave with interviews.
Yes.
You get 2 tickets in the 100 level. So A is Nick Sirianni lunch and game of horse. B is hang out with Dave all day.
See, here's the thing. With the Dave thing, you do, like, if you have a kid that you really want to, like, experience, like, media and stuff, there's nothing better than that.
Well, no, you're also standing on the sidelines during the game.
Also, again, going into Meech's head is this kind of a setup where he wants to, like, make you feel good and he thinks we're going to pick
Better.
Nick. I'm going Dave. Watch me.
I'm going Dave.
Yeah, you're going Dave.
I already know the total and who won because it's me. I won with Dave. So
Did you?
No, I didn't. Come on, Jesse.
You're not allowed to win. Look at him. He's
Dave and
got
Dave
the
only.
WIP
That's it.
hat
There's no
on.
better way to spend a day, man.
I would never invite a guest on here and embarrass him on purpose. Dave went for 6.75K. Sirianni went for 6.2K.
You're bigger than
You better
Coach
remind him
Nick.
of that
Okay.
tomorrow.
That's only because we don't know what putter ball is. Putter ball could be really cool.
All right, here's the last one.
Putterball's a really long game.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Last one.
All
It's-
right.
It's a good one.
Okay.
Spend the day with Philadelphia Eagles Chief Security Officer. It includes you
Dom,
and one
Big
guest.
Dom?
Will shadow Dom DeSandro for 1 to 2 hours and get a glimpse into the life of the Philadelphia Eagles Chief Security Officer. Option 2, Super Bowl 58 experience. You get 2 tickets to the Super Bowl. You get a round trip charter. You get 3 nights hotel accommodations, dinner with guests on the charter trip, ground transfers to and from hotel and game, and a Super Bowl gift for each guest.
It's a setup because
Option A, Dom. Option
he's
B,
in your head. He's
Super
in your
Bowl.
head now.
no, it's a setup because there's no way that you would ever think that it would be Dom. So it obviously has to be. I'm going Dom.
I would pick Dom. That to me would be the coolest to go hang with him for the day.
1 to 2 hours with Dom DeSandro
Yes.
or all
Super
expenses
Bowl
paid
for
ticket for
3 days.
you
Yeah,
and
I
a
gotta
friend
go-
to the goddamn
I would
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
I would pick the Super Bowl.
Listen, I
but
love Dom
think it's
DeSandro.
Dom.
Go
I think
ahead.
It's Dom 1.
The answer is nobody. They both went for $23.5K.
What
Whoa!
pressure?
Yeah. What pressure for Dom?
That sounds
Yeah,
like a
like
friend.
what does he have to
you-
do?
Better.
He has
All right,
to
it's
get-
2 hours.
Yeah. They had 2 hours. I'm nothing less than
Okay.
2 hours.
Wait,
And
so
that concludes who won
the
which
auction?
bid went for
Dom
highest.
Hey,
New
thanks,
game
Meech.
show at
Thanks,
City
Meech.
Pigeons.
That was fun.
Parting guests will receive a Kenwood beer and a slice of pizza from wherever Tom
And
got
a City,
pizza from.
and a City Pigeons,
Right.
City
Sure.
Pigeons T-shirt. That's
and,
what I want.
And we didn't even raise any money for charity. We just talked about people raising money for charity. Okay.
No, so they raised like what, $500,000 for that over the radiothon. That was
It's
incredible.
unbelievable.
Amazing.
Eagles fans are
Amazing.
amazing.
It's fun too. It's fun to listen to.
Yeah.
As they tell the runners. But
23.
on a related note to Dom.
Dave, I'm sorry. Did you see what my buddy Jeff McDev, the highlight reel he did for Dom DeSandro? Can you pull that
Oh
up, Fink?
goodness.
Yeah.
When he gets that up, we'll have to show
Just
you.
him in the background of everything.
Well,
and
no, it's like a hype video for
Real quick,
Dom. It's
anecdote related to Dom. His predecessor, Butch Ionico.
Butchie, yeah.
Okay, you might
Butchie
know.
Bashanico.
He was the head of my dad's
Yeah,
security detail
yes,
when
he
my
was.
dad
Yes,
was
he
the
was
mayor.
Yes, he was.
And he went from being the head of my dad's security when he was the mayor
To Andy Reid.
to be Andy Reid's guy.
Yeah.
And do you remember the one game? What happened with Butch? Do you remember?
I mean, I remember a lot about Butch.
Well, he actually got a penalty.
oh
against
yeah,
the
yeah.
Eagles.
He got on. He was too close to the sideline.
He
Somebody-
was running.
He was running. He ran out of the box or something.
I think he was running with like a punt return, and he
Yeah.
like knocked over a ref or something.
Yeah, that's right,
And then
that's right.
after the game, Andy Reid said something like, "You're going to have to ask the governor about that" or something. It
Yeah.
was very funny.
Yeah.
We got to get Butch on the podcast. That would be classic. Let me tell you one story about Butch, okay? Because when I knew Butch, he was my dad's head of security, and every once in a while he would do stuff pertaining to me. Like one time he picked me up from the airport. I don't know why. Picks me up from the airport in a unmarked like minivan, right? So he's taking me home in 76, and he was good, like South Philly guy, good guy, we talk like bullshit, whatever. And we're driving, and he starts to get all pissed off. There's this guy like riding his tail, he's like, oh, what the fuck is this guy doing? And I'm sitting there like, oh shit. He goes, all right, Jess, sorry, man, I got to handle this. In the middle of I-76, right off like University City, he slaps the light on top of the car, slams on the brakes, gets out of the car, goes back to the guy behind, our car and starts screaming at the guy. I'm just sitting there like, what the hell's going on? He comes back, gets in the car, shuts the door, and he's like, all right. And that was it.
Like, that was the governor.
Yeah, I mean, it was that whole, by the way, man, I went through 3 or 4 different details in my dad's career. When we got to governor, it was a bunch of state troopers, and you want to talk about some characters. I mean, it's a group of 10, 15 different guys.
They can't mess around, man.
It's
crazy people out there.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. So Butch was the man, and we definitely
Butch
need
is
to
always
talk
the
to him.
man.
He's got some. I'm sure he's got some amazing stories about my dad. Some of which he probably can't tell.
Get
but
him
that's
on.
okay.
Well,
We'll get him on. We'll get him on.
Yeah.
All right. So this is the Dom DeSandro
This-
highlights.
Our buddy Jeff McDev made this. He works for the WWE. Does like video editing for them.
Oh, this is when
Yeah.
he took the guy off the field. He ran
I
around
don't
the field.
know if
You got sound on that?
Yeah, you're not going to be able to hear it probably, and that's okay.
It's just a song playing in the
Oh,
back.
he's holding the
Does
gate.
he gate up? Yeah.
Crispy Dap with the coach. Oh
That
no,
is not my internet.
no,
I love you.
No. All right. Well, this as captivating as this is.
Yeah, that was a little.
Maybe we can send
underwhelming
this to
without
Dave.
the
Okay,
music.
Yeah.
Dave.
Yep.
Before we go,
Okay.
I gotta get a couple Eagles things.
Okay, do it.
with you because we already referenced it a little, and I want to talk to you about how we're feeling. I know you're excited about the fact that we got the wins.
Yeah.
and that's all good. But my question is this, right? We know that they haven't been 100% in sync There's no question about that. Hurts has looked a little, like the game plan, everything's looked a little off. Great, they've won games. And by the way, that's a sign of good teams, right?
Yep.
They win games and they're not playing well. Also, 2 games in, I'm quite sure the team will evolve over the course of the season.
Yep.
But here's my biggest concern. I'm trying to figure out, nobody plays in the preseason, and we get 2 games in 4 or 5 days to start the season, right? So again, credit to them for winning those games. But it's not surprising they're not going to be in perfect sync. Now, you did see some other teams that played pretty well across NFL, but either way, we weren't looking in sync. We do have 2 new coordinators, right?
Yep.
And so in the back of my mind, I'm thinking to myself, is it possible that we have a scenario where we might have some issues in terms of how different people are approaching things, or is it just a matter of it's too early, they're figuring it? It's hard. I mean, you can't answer.
It's hard to
that.
answer right now. I mean,
And you're
will
not
say
gonna-
that
you're not gonna
I'm
tell
very
me.
much in favor of not playing players in the preseason because I don't want guys to get hurt.
Right.
It's just not worth it. That said, I acknowledge that the Eagles' offense, the passing game, is not where it was last year. I kind of thought it would be more advanced. I think we all did. It's going to take some time. And I'm actually okay with that. I think it's good to have teaching points and have players feeling some angst right now. And
AJ?
there's something to work for. The defense, I kind of expected to have some challenges because there's 5 new starters. There's a new coordinator.
Injuries.
Now N'Kobe's out for a few more weeks, and then Avante's out for the season,
Yeah, that
and so
hurts.
those are 2 big losses. And they've played a really strong offense in Minnesota. And this weekend, Monday night, Tampa Bay hasn't turned the football over. My goal is to, having gone through this so many times, just no more injuries, and get better and better and better, win games, and then play your best football at the end of the season.
Yep.
I remember, I was doing this thing for Randall Cunningham today, and I remember the 92 season. So he gets knocked out in 91. Jerome dies after the season. The Eagles come back, and they start 4-0, and they're on the cover of Sports Illustrated, and everybody's like, great, these are great team, and then they suck the rest of the season. Right. So I just want to see them get better. But yeah, there's things to work on, man. There's a lot of things to work on, and I just think there's so much talent on offense that it will work itself out. And then there's going to have to be some young players who step up on defense. The defense will be led by a front 7 that is awesome, particularly the front 4.
No doubt about that.
The back end, Bradbury, Slay, and then a bunch of young guys.
Right.
And so that is a piece that you have to kind of keep your eye on.
I think I saw Jordan Davis has more pressures than Aaron Donald in less snaps.
Yeah, I mean he and Jalen Carter are 2 young rising stars, and the Eagles are so deep up front. And I think ultimately, how you are at the line of scrimmage is kind of how you're going to be during the season.
You're winning in trenches.
You win in the trenches, and then you
Fink,
build
that's
out
right.
after that. And Jalen, I know that the numbers haven't been there, but they're still 5th in the league in scoring. So, I mean,
You know what I was everyone talked about the A.J. Brown blow up, but I was encouraged.
that was
if you
not
remember,
a blow up. T.O. was a blow up.
Yeah, I mean, but people pretended it was a blow up. But right after that, they went back to him like 2 times,
Yep.
and he caught a touchdown
And
pass
the
that was
penalty
called
on
back.
Penny, right, the holding call,
So they appeased him right after that. I mean, listen,
nothing.
isn't Jalen Hurts the godfather of his child? I'm not worried
And by
about
the way,
their
if everybody's
relationship.
on edge and they have something to prove and they're pissed off, I'm cool with that, man. Let's
give
go
me
to
the damn ball.
Monday night.
Yeah, I'm just
game,
worried for Tampa.
national game. There's going to be a zillion Eagles fans in Tampa. Let's bring it on. Let's go.
I would just love to get Dale, just as an offensive, when they get Dale Goddard involved, it makes everything so much easier.
That's the part that his yards after the catch is way down. Defenses are definitely playing the Eagles differently. I hope that the Eagles use the little mini bye weekend to address those, to really look at things, and then we'll see what kind of attack they come out with against a very good Tampa Bay defense.
Well, I think we're all looking forward to it, and the rest of the season is going to be amazing.
Yeah,
and
hope
we're looking
so.
forwys to seeing what you're going to do out
Appreciate
there,
it, man.
watching
Appreciate
you,
it, guys.
tuning
Thank
into
you. I like it.
I'd offer to have you here for a game, but I think you'll probably be busy. So
Yeah.
maybe you can come for like a
I'll be in
Phillies
touch.
game.
Yeah,
Come
man.
for a Phillies game or something?
I'll come in. This is a great studio. You guys
World
are awesome.
Series?
Thank you.
It's going to
Sure.
get
Phillies going to the World Series?
well, I like to think they are.
Okay.
I mean, look, it's going to get out of control very quickly here, folks. When we get into October,
Just like
I don't know
last
if you
year.
remember last year,
Of course.
it was just nuts. So you
Yeah.
got to get ready for that.
It was the best.
So everybody get ready for that, and
That's why I'm drinking water tonight. I have to prepare my body
go.
for the next
He has
for
to
the
hydrate
next
for the
month's
next couple
run.
weeks.
Yeah,
It's not a
hydrate for the next
mirage.
month.
This
Yeah.
is a good heart as well is drinking water. So that's I just for the record.
you guys are making me feel bad. But
No,
Listen,
we just overdid it earlier
Don't let
in the
them-
weekend.
yeah, don't
made
let
us
their-
feel bad.
all right, well,
Misfortunes
Dave,
clash.
thanks,
Yeah,
man.
thanks, guys.
Hey, we appreciate
Thanks
you.
again, Dave.
Appreciate you.
You're the man.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. That was
go.
awesome.
Let's go.
Thank you. Thank you all for
Thanks
watching.
for
and
joining us,
appreciate it.
everybody. We'll catch you next time.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.